The auto industry is at the dawn of a brave new age. Cars that once relied on us to tell them where to point, how fast to go and when to stop, are making those decisions all by themselves. We really are in the future. Although I'm still waiting for my protein pills, my food rehydrator and anti-gravity boots. And despite what every piece of science fiction told me when I was still a micro-human, fax machines didn't survive. Damn you, Zemeckis and Gale! As is often the case with new tech, regulation of autonomous vehicle tech is nebulous, with some countries and regions more on board with it than others. Faced with a sea of what's okay and what's not okay, we're in something akin to the Wild West. Some countries, regions and municipalities who have tough sheriffs demand everyone play by the rules, and other places seemingly have no one to enforce or even care. Similarly, some companies go out of their way to play by the rules, working with other companies to define at least a loose set of expectations as to how this new technology should work. Others go it alone, not so much ignoring the establishment and any rules that may exist, but rather working around the regulations with the same deft expertise as a renowned defense attorney or that teenager who realized that technically, going to a friend's house for a study date might actually comply with the grounding exception you made for schoolwork. And when companies successfully get a leg up on the competition this way, there's bound to be bad blood. Which is where we find ourselves in today's video, the case of the interestingly named Dawn Project and its full-page advert in the New York Times last weekend calling for Tesla's full self-driving beta software to be banned from the roads of North America. A call that's only even possible because of the aforementioned Wild West nature of AV regulation. The ad claims that Tesla's FSD software is, quote, the worst software ever sold by a Fortune 500 company, end quote, and that the public should not, quote, be crash test dummies for thousands of Tesla cars, end quote. It goes on to state that it has analysed hours of footage online and alleges that FSD Beta is committing a critical driving error, as defined by the California Department of Motor Vehicles, every 8 minutes. It also claims that millions of people would die every single day if every car used FSD, and maintains that humans are thousands of times better than Tesla's semi-autonomous system. On the face of it, this sounds like a throwdown from a concerned grassroots organisation. Except it isn't. This one is about as grassroots real as the AstroTurf is on my puppy's potty pad. Sit back and I'll shine some light on the Dawn Project. Before we do though, and this is really important, I want you all to know that there are multiple organisations out there called the Dawn Project. There's a couple of conservation groups who use that name, a cool drug education and rehabilitation programme, and a model for helping children with heightened emotional and behavioural needs. And that's just from the first page of Google. I'm telling you this because I know that someone will tag the wrong Dawn Project in a fit of anger and don't. The particular Dawn Project we're talking about here, at The Real Dawn Project on Twitter and found online at dawnproject.com, details what it perceives as the problems of modern software development, the, quote, move fast and break things, end quote, methodology. Its website calls out companies who have developed massively interconnected systems that could be open to cyber attacks from criminals, enemy states, and more. And of course, it promotes the solution, the expertise of its founder, and the company he runs. Enter Dan O'Dowd, a serial entrepreneur who happens to also run Greenhill Software, a company that specialises in, drumroll please, software that, quote, never fails and cannot be hacked, end quote, specifically for the embedded software world. No conflict of interest there then. Greenhill Software has existed since 1982 and has offices in Europe, the US and Asia, and has quite the impressive list of client companies in its 40-year history. Its software development and debugging tools have been used by aerospace companies, automakers, communications specialists, defense contractors, and more. It claims it is the leader in embedded safety and security, and in a recent blog post, the company talks about its software development and testing products being used extensively in the development of the BMW iX electric crossover. It's also been working on software development for the Orion MPCV currently being built and tested for NASA's upcoming Artemis program. On January 7th, the Dawn project posted a $10,000 bounty for the first person to, quote, demonstrate a commercial product line from a Fortune 500 company that, when brand new, has a critical safety malfunction on average every 8 minutes, has been on the market for at least 6 months, and has never been recalled, end quote. I think it's pretty obvious which company the bounty refers to, which feels unfair to Tesla. Sure, previous iterations of Autopilot, pre-FSD beta, had their issues, and having gone through a head-to-head recently, I can say vanilla Autopilot definitely has its issues. But then so does every other semi-autonomous system I've driven with similar capabilities. That's why they're semi-autonomous. And in Tesla's defense, when it comes to its full self-driving, it's clear that it's beta software and warns owners to remain ready to take control. In fact, it goes as far as to say it, quote, may do the wrong thing at the worst time, end quote. It's not necessarily Tesla's fault if people are abusing the system, although I'd also argue that automakers are responsible to make sure their systems can't be easily abused, so Tesla could work a little harder there. Why, though, is an established company targeting Tesla through an AstroTurf organisation? I'll come to that in a moment, but what I'm pretty sure it isn't, though, is some kind of side attack against Tesla on behalf of Legacy Auto, something that many Tesla supporters on Twitter have been claiming over the weekend. We've seen allegations that Ford, General Motors, Toyota, Volkswagen, and yes, BMW have all somehow been behind this, but frankly, that would be a very bizarre way for any of the above to target Tesla. Yes, BMW has used Greenhill software in its iX. Yes, the other automakers I've just mentioned have also used one or more of the company's products over the past few decades to either develop or underpin their own in-car software. But if Greenhill software really is a leader in embedded software, that's not exactly unusual now, is it? Frankly, if this is actually some kind of evil plan by big Legacy Auto to try and kill Tesla, well, it's not even Dr. Evil level evil. More Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. As to what I think the real reason is? Well, it could be an attempt to gain extra attention in the industry, which, given the company's history, is also hard to believe. It could be a campaign of genuine concern, although I think that's also very unlikely given the rather underhanded way this all came to be. Or it could, as its website states, be part of a personal crusade against what it perceives as poorly developed software that's prone to security breaches. It does, after all, state that it wants all, quote, safety-critical software systems unhackable. But the most likely reason for all of this was sneaked in an interview that O'Dowd just gave with Fox News. O'Dowd claimed some of Greenhill Software's code underpinned Tesla's Autopilot in its early days, but that, quote, I backed away from the project and I said, I don't know that this is right, that this is what we should be doing here, that this isn't going to work, end quote. Fox, to its credit, noted that it couldn't verify these claims with Tesla as Tesla doesn't have a press team. I guess it's nice that multinational news networks and tiny little YouTube channels like us have the same issue clarifying a Tesla story, eh? But there's something here that I think we know that Fox might not. You see, one of Greenhill Software's former clients is Mobileye, an automotive computer vision company that Tesla worked very closely with in the early days of Autopilot. So even if Fox can't confirm it, I think we can. And we know that Tesla, specifically Elon Musk, wasn't a fan of Mobileye, and thus, I suspect, not a fan of Greenhill Software. The link, and maybe resulting animosity, I think has been found. As for Musk, well, he took to Twitter to claim that, quote, Greenhill Software is a pile of trash, Linux for the win, end quote. Which is, fair enough. Greenhill Software did go after Tesla, but Greenhill Software solutions also appear to include Linux debugging, so yeah. As for the whole unbreakable code thing, I'm going to suggest that's a myth. What someone can make, someone will ultimately break. It just might take a while. And that's it for today. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to leave your thoughts below or in our Discord chat room. Make sure you've also subscribed to this channel and our other channel, Transport Evolved Take 2, and give the bell a gentle ding to make sure you're told when our next video goes live. Thanks on behalf of the entire TE crew go out to the folks on my right for being our $15 to $49 a month patrons. Special thanks to our $50 a month patrons, Chris Maxwell, Brian Newton, Jason Bordeaux, Dave Kitchen, Michael Goad, Ricky Leon, Andrew Martin, Guido Drahota, Brophy Wolf, Tesla in the Gong, Gordon C, Stephen O'Donoghue, Carl Hodgson, Anthony Coates, Regine Fellows, Rory Litwin, Anonymous Freak, Jim Burness and Denny Hyde, and our deepest gratitude to our $100 a month Patreon supporters, Marcel Ward, Reggie Watts, Joe Bresney, JP Fagerback, Will Graylin, Matthew Drobnak, John Lyons, Christopher Lee Jones, Laura Reynolds, Paul Conway, Ellery Hennesley, and Ian. If you're feeling left out, you can join Patreon at the link below, or you can show us your support through Bitcoin, Ko-fi, or our swag store. Thanks for joining me, and as always, keep evolving.